Have you ever found yourself standing in the kitchen, staring at the fridge, and thinking, what on earth am I going to make for dinner tonight? Maybe you've noticed that cooking just doesn't feel as easy as it used to, or perhaps you're tired of the same old meals and want something that's both quick and good for you. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get a little older, our energy can dip, our taste might change, and sometimes the idea of spending hours in the kitchen just isn't appealing anymore. But here's the good news. Eating well doesn't have to be complicated, time-consuming, or boring. In fact, with just a few simple ingredients and a little bit of know-how, you can whip up delicious, nutritious meals in less than half an hour, leaving you with more time and energy to enjoy the things you love. Today, I want to share something special with you. 5 easy recipes that are perfect for seniors, or really anyone who wants to eat well without spending all day in the kitchen. These meals are designed to be gentle on your digestion, packed with nutrients, and, most importantly, full of flavor. Whether you're cooking just for yourself, or maybe you have a partner or a friend joining you, these recipes are all about making mealtime enjoyable and stress-free. So, if you ever wish for a little more variety in your meals, or you're just looking for some new ideas to keep things interesting, you're in the right place. Let's get started with our very first recipe, which is one of my personal favorites for busy days, a vibrant, hearty vegetable stir-fry. Now, before you think, oh, stir-fry sounds complicated, let me reassure you this version is as easy as it gets. You don't need a fancy wok or a long list of exotic ingredients. All you need are a few fresh vegetables, a splash of olive oil, and your favorite protein. Maybe some cooked chicken, tofu, or even a handful of canned beans if you want to keep things extra simple. The beauty of a stir-fry is that you can use whatever you have on hand. Maybe you got some bell peppers, a zucchini, and a handful of spinach in the fridge. Or perhaps there's a lonely carrot and a few mushrooms waiting to be used. Just chop everything into bite-sized pieces. Heat a little oil in a large pan and toss in your veggies. Give them a quick sauté, just enough to keep them crisp and colorful. Add your protein, a sprinkle of garlic powder or a dash of low-sodium soy sauce, and in about 10 minutes, you got a meal that's bursting with flavor and nutrients. Serve it over a little brown rice or whole grain noodles if you like, or just enjoy it as is. It's light, satisfying, and so easy to make your own. What I love about this stir-fry is how flexible it is. If you're cooking for one, just use a handful of each ingredient. If you're making enough for leftovers, double up. And if you're not a fan of chopping, you can even buy pre-cut veggies at the store. No shame in making things easier for yourself. Plus, this meal is packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which are all so important for keeping your energy up and your body feeling its best. And because you're cooking everything quickly over high heat, the veggies keep their crunch and their nutrients, so you get the most out every bite. Now, let's move on to something a little different, but just as quick and nourishing, a creamy, comforting bowl of salmon and white bean salad. If you've ever thought salads were just for summer or that they couldn't possibly be filling, this recipe will change your mind. Salmon is a fantastic source of protein and healthy fats, especially omega-3s, which are great for your heart and your brain. And canned salmon works perfectly here. No need to fuss with fresh fish if you don't want to. Just drain a can of salmon, flake it into a bowl, and add a can of rinsed white beans. Toss in a handful of chopped celery for crunch, a little red onion if you like, and a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt or light mayonnaise to bring all together. A squeeze of lemon juice, a pinch of dill, and a little black pepper, and you've got a salad that's creamy, tangy, and so satisfying. This salmon and white bean salad is wonderful on its own, but you can also serve it on top of mixed greens, tuck it into a whole wheat pita, or even scoop it up with some whole grain crackers. It's the kind of meal that feels special, but takes less than 15 minutes to put together. And because it's full of protein and fiber, it'll keep you feeling full and energized for hours. Plus, It's easy to make ahead. Just pop in the fridge and you got lunch or dinner ready to go whenever you need it. One of the things I hear most often from folks is that they want to eat healthier, but they worry it'll be too much work or that healthy food just won't taste as good. But as you can see, with just a few simple ingredients and a little creativity, you can make meals that are both good for you and truly delicious. And the best part? You don't have to spend all day in the kitchen or break the bank on fancy ingredients. These recipes are all about making the most of what you have and finding joy in the process of cooking and eating. So, now that we explore a couple of easy, nutritious options, the colorful veggie stir-fry and the creamy salmon and white bean salad, let's keep the momentum going. There are still more delicious ideas to come, each one designed to make your life a little easier and a lot tastier. Let's keep this kitchen conversation going, because I know how important it is to have a few more go-to meals that are both nourishing and easy to prepare. After all, the last thing anyone wants is to feel overwhelmed by complicated recipes or a sink full of dishes. Cooking should feel like a pleasure, not a chore, and that's exactly what these next recipes are all about. Simple steps, wholesome ingredients, and flavors that make you look forward to your next meal. Picture this. It's lunchtime, and you want something warm, comforting, and filling, but you don't want to spend ages chopping, stirring, or waiting for the oven to heat up. That's where my next favorite comes in, a hearty chicken and vegetable soup that's ready in under 30 minutes. Now, you might be thinking, soup from scratch in half an hour? Really? Absolutely. The trick is to use a good quality low-sodium chicken broth as your base, and then add in pre-cooked or rotisserie chicken, which saves you a ton of time. Start by pouring your broth into a pot and bringing it to a gentle simmer. While that's heating up, chop up whatever vegetables you have on hand. Carrots, celery, maybe a handful of spinach or some frozen peas. Toss those into the pot and let them cook for about 10 minutes until they're just tender. Then add your shredded chicken and a sprinkle of herbs, thyme, parsley, or even a little rosemary if you have it. Let everything warm through, taste for seasoning, and that's it. You've got a steaming bowl of soup that's packed with protein, vitamins, and that cozy feeling you get from homemade food. What I love about this soup is how adaptable it is. If you're not in the mood for chicken, you can easily swap in turkey or even skip the meat and add a can of drained beans for a vegetarian version. And if you want to make it even heartier, toss in a handful of cooked pasta or brown rice right at the end. It's the kind of meal that feels like a hug in a bowl, perfect for chilly days or anytime you need a little extra comfort. Plus, it's gentle on the stomach and easy to digest, which is always a bonus. Now, let's talk about breakfast or maybe even a light dinner, because I know a lot of us are looking for ways to start the day with something that's both satisfying and good for us. One of my absolute go-tos is a simple veggie omelet. Eggs are such a wonderful source of protein, and they cook up in just a few minutes. To make this omelet, crack 2 or 3 eggs into a bowl, add a splash of milk, and whisk them together until they're nice and fluffy. Heat a non-stick pan over medium heat, add a little olive oil or butter, and pour in your eggs. As they start to set, sprinkle in your favorite chopped vegetables, maybe some diced tomatoes, a little spinach, or a few mushrooms. If you like, add a bit of shredded cheese for extra flavor. Let the eggs cook gently, folding them over the veggies until everything is just set and the cheese is melted. Slide your omelet onto a plate, and you've got a meal that's packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals, all in under 10 minutes. The beauty of an omelet is that you can make it your own every single time. Some days you might want to add a little ham or smoked salmon. Other days you might keep it all veggies. And if you're cooking for 2, just double the ingredients and make a big omelet to share. It's quick, it's easy, and it's a great way to use up whatever you have in the fridge. Plus, eggs are gentle on the digestive system and can help keep you feeling full and energized throughout the morning. I know that sometimes, especially if you're cooking just for yourself, It can be tempting to skip meals or reach for something packaged and processed. But taking a few minutes to make something fresh, even something as simple as an omelet or a bowl of soup, can make such a difference in how you feel. Not only are you giving your body the nutrients it needs, but you're also taking a little time for yourself, which is so important at any age. And speaking of taking care of yourself, let's not forget about those days when you want something sweet, but you don't want to undo all your healthy habits. That's where my next quick recipe comes in: a fruit and yogurt parfait that's as beautiful as it is delicious. All you need is a small bowl or glass, a scoop of plain Greek yogurt, and your favorite fresh or frozen fruit. Layer the yogurt and fruit, maybe add a sprinkle of granola or a handful of chopped nuts for crunch, and finish with a drizzle of honey if you like things a little sweeter. In just a couple minutes, you've got a dessert or even a breakfast that's full of protein, calcium, and antioxidants. It's light, refreshing, and so easy to customize with whatever fruit is in season or on sale. What I love about this parfait is that it feels like a treat, but it's actually doing your body good. The yogurt gives you a boost of probiotics for gut health. The fruit adds natural sweetness and fiber, and the nuts or granola give you that satisfying crunch. It's a wonderful way to end a meal or to enjoy as a snack when you need a little pick-me-up. So, as you can see, eating well doesn't have to mean spending hours in the kitchen or following complicated recipes. With just a few simple ingredients and a little creativity, you can make meals that are not only good for you, but also truly enjoyable. And the best part is, these recipes are all about making your life easier, not harder. You deserve meals that nourish your body and bring a little joy to your day, no matter how busy or tired you might feel. Next, we'll dive into one more delicious recipe that's just as quick and satisfying, and then we'll wrap up with a few thoughts on how to keep mealtime simple, joyful, and full of flavor. And now, let's bring everything together with one more recipe that's just as quick and satisfying as the others, and then wrap up with a few thoughts on how to keep mealtime simple, joyful, and full of flavor. Imagine it's the end of a long day. Maybe you've been out for a walk, spent time with family, or just enjoyed a quiet afternoon with a good book. The sun is starting to set, and you want something warm and filling, but you don't want to fuss with pots and pans for hours. This is a perfect moment for a classic: whole grain pasta with sautéed garlic, cherry tomatoes, and spinach. It's a dish that feels comforting and familiar, but it's also packed with nutrients and comes together in less than 30 minutes. Start by bringing a pot of water to a boil and adding your favorite whole grain or legume-based pasta. While that's cooking, heat a little olive oil in a large skillet. Add a couple of cloves of minced garlic and let them sizzle gently, just until they're fragrant, not brown. Then toss in a couple of handfuls of halved cherry tomatoes. Let them cook for a few minutes until they start to soften and release their juices. Add a big handful of fresh spinach and watch as it wilts down into the pan. If you like, you can add a pinch of dried basil or oregano for extra flavor. When the pasta is ready, drain it and add it straight into the skillet, tossing everything together so the pasta soaks up all those delicious juices. Finish with a sprinkle of grated Parmesan cheese, and you've got a meal that's colorful, satisfying, and so easy to make. What's wonderful about this pasta is how adaptable it is. If you want to add a little protein, toss in some cooked chicken, shrimp, or even a can of white beans. If you're avoiding gluten, there are so many great gluten-free pastas available now that work beautifully in this recipe. And if you're cooking for one, just make a smaller batch. Leftovers keep well and can be enjoyed for lunch the next day. This meal is a great reminder that healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Sometimes, the simplest combinations are the most delicious. As we wrap up these 5 easy recipes, I hope you're feeling inspired to try something new in your kitchen. Maybe you'll start with a veggie stir-fry, or perhaps the salmon and white bean salad caught your eye. Or maybe you're already thinking about that warm bowl of chicken and vegetable soup, the fluffy veggie omelet, or the colorful pasta with garlic and spinach. Whichever recipe you choose, remember that cooking is about more than just feeding yourself. It's about caring for your body, nourishing your spirit, and finding a little joy in the everyday moments. It's easy to fall into the habit of thinking that healthy meals have to be complicated, or that you need a long list of ingredients to make something tasty. But as we've seen, a handful of fresh, wholesome foods and a few simple steps can create meals that are both good for you and truly enjoyable. And you don't have to do it all at once. Maybe you try one new recipe this week, or maybe you just add a few extra veggies to your usual meals. Every small step counts, and every meal is a chance to do something good for yourself. If you ever feel stuck or uninspired, remember that cooking is a journey, not a destination. Some days you'll feel like making something new and adventurous, and other days you'll want the comfort of an old favorite. Both are perfectly okay. The most important thing is to listen to your body, honor your cravings, and give yourself permission to enjoy the process. And if you make a mistake or something doesn't turn out quite right, just laugh it off and try again. That's all part of the fun. I'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite quick and easy meals? Have you tried any of these recipes? Or do you have your own tips for making healthy eating simple and enjoyable? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your ideas might just inspire someone else who's watching. If you found these recipes helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more practical tips, delicious recipes, and uplifting conversations about living well at any age. Your support means so much, and it helps us keep creating content that makes a difference in your life. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in your health and happiness. You deserve meals that nourish your body, lift your spirits, and fit easily into your daily routine. Here's to living your best life at any age, one delicious, nutritious meal at a time. Thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, happy cooking and take good care of yourself.